Because of cost, whereas we did nothing but pantomime cartoons for 20 years, Tom and Jerry, which are, as you know, still working and are successful today. But we were in pantomime jokes and stuff, and we never had to use voices. So we didn't record any voices for that many years. When we got into television, it was all voices from there on. We had to cast the voices with personalities. I mean, that's where so many mistakes are made today. If it's a little character, you cast a little squeaky voice, no personality. There's nothing to that kind of a voice. So you had to really cast it like you were casting a star. Fortunately, we had two stars working for us, Dawes Butler and Don Messick, and they had each of them a vocabulary of voices that ran 10, 12, 15 different voices that they could do. Well, when I said to Dawes Butler that I wanted a kind of a warm Southern voice, because I like the sound of Southern voices. They're kind of caressing, they're soft, they're entertaining. He said, well, he says, let's see, do you want to kind of come in there from there like that, and then like North Carolina? Or would you like to say, hey there, way baby down there like South Carolina? Or would you like to get into Florida where the crackers are, the Southern crackers? And they kind of speak a little hillbilly like that. Or, you know, in New Orleans, you got another kind of Southern. Before I could stop, he had done about 22 Southern voices. I'm saying, stop, hold it. I don't need to have these shadings, but I mean, that's how good these guys are. So now your job was to pick the voice that would work. And I found out that the voices that worked were the voices, because I did all the casting, the voices that if you close your eyes and listen, you smile because there was a humor in the voice. So I have a very concrete example of that. We were doing a show called Hong Kong Phooey, and we were casting voices. And we had to cast Hong Kong Phooey. So I brought in, let's say, an actor, and I had a script, and I did it with him. Then I brought in 4 other actors and did the same lines with 4 other actors. Then I brought in ABC, and they sat there, and I would hit the machine and play the 5 voices. And every time the 4th voice got the big laughs. So we finally picked it. I didn't tell him who it was. It was a black man called Scatman Crothers. If you ever remember this man. He had a real sing-songy kind of a delivery. Well, who call in the ambulance, he'd say instead of ambulance, you know. So they loved it, and they sweet, but I never told them who it was until after they said, this is the one we want. Because if I had told them before we did the voices that this was the voice of a 71-year-old black man, they would have turned it down. They would have an opinion on it before they ever got to it. So actually, without knowing who it was, when he spoke, you laughed. Now you're 50% ahead when you have a voice that'll do that for you. Because you just put a voice up there that's reading the lines, you're wasting your time. So that's part of the effort and problems of trying to cast a voice. Like with Top Cat, for instance, I made a drawing of Top Cat. One drawing gives you the differences in selling a show. And trying to sell Flintstones, that was 8 weeks of being in New York in a hotel trying to sell it. Now that it was successful, the ABC people came into the studio one day, and I had this one drawing. I said, take a look at this. And underneath it said Top Cat. And they bought it from that one drawing. That's all the sales pitch I had to do for that. That gives you an idea if you deal from strength, you know. If you get one hit show, you can get another one. If you get another one, you'll get another one. If you have a failure, goodbye, you know. And we were casting Top Cat. And we cast Top Cat. I had 5 different people in there. Never got what I wanted. Finally, we had an actor come in called Arnold Stang. And he had the delivery, which was supposed to be very Bilko-ish. All right, let's move along, fellas. Keep quiet, pay attention. Hey. So he could do it kind of like that. And he was the guy that finally got the job.